Welcome to this week's edition of the Seekonk Speedway Race Day Rewind, produced by Souza Media, where we recap all the weekend's racing as part of the 75th anniversary season of the Action Track of the East. The Seekonk Speedway podcast series is a production of Seekonk Speedway and Souza Media. For more information on Souza Media, visit kylesouza.com. And for more information on Seekonk Speedway, visit seekonkspeedway.com. Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of the Seekonk Speedway Race Day Rewind Report. I know it's been a while since we've been here with you. A crazy couple weeks in the Seekonk racing world, between Mother Nature jumping in, moving a thrill show, Saturday night racing getting canceled for a coming up week. We've got a lot to go over here on this edition of the podcast, and we've also got to go over what happened the last time we were on the track for both Fast Friday and NASCAR Saturday Night Racing. The Seekonk Speedway podcast series, of course, is presented by Souza Media, as you heard at the beginning. If you're not aware, my name is Kyle Souza, the owner of Souza Media. So happy to be back here with you once again. We have got a great show lined up for you here. A couple guests are going to be joining us once again as part of the podcast series. Actually, two from the Fast Friday series as part of the last events that we ran on Fast Friday, which was actually on June the 25th. So we're going to recap that, see what happened on that night in all five of our Fast Friday divisions. Then we will speak with two special guests from Fast Friday. No special guest this week from NASCAR Saturday Night. We'll catch up with another driver from the Saturday Night program a little bit again down the road. But we're still going to go over everything that happened, including a wild pro stock race that has everybody talking. And I like when people are talking on social media. Makes it fun to follow and makes me realize that you guys out there are really listening and enjoying what's going on at the third mile on a weekly basis. Whether your driver is winning, losing, or anything indifferent, you're still talking about it, and that means something is going well. All right, let's start with our Fast Friday series from June 25th. We had 5 feature races once again. The Bandoleros with 1 feature for the Bandits and 1 for the Outlaws, the Sport 4s, the Legend Cars, and the Pure Stocks. Let's start off with the Bandolero Bandits as they got ready to open their 21 season a couple of weeks ago. This race number 2 on the docket for them in 2021. Of course, we had some rainouts in there. This was race number 3. So third race of the season for the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits. And right now, 3 for 3 on the year is young Darren Krantz Jr. Now this driver, Darren's no stranger to the Speedway. Last year he was in victory lane multiple times upon his appearance at Seekonk. This year, he's been in victory lane 3 weeks in a row to open the year. That's a tough task to do in any racing division anywhere. So for him to be able to do that, congratulations to him and his group to be able to come out and win the first 3 races in the Bandolero Bandits. Again, no surprise, but still a major accomplishment at best. Darren's involved in charities. Darren's involved in racing across the East Coast, basically. Charlotte, Atlanta, everywhere. And he's done a nice job at Seekonk with 3 wins to open the year. Quite impressive there. Ryan Van Ness, also quite impressive. A podium finish, a second place run for the driver of the number 11. Ryan has had a strong start to the year. 3 finishes on the podium. A third opening night and then 2 straight seconds. So he's right there with Darren Krantz. Miliana Shawaski, also a strong run. That was her second podium finish of the year on the 25th. That was a third place finish for her. Nice job to her. She has a worst finish of 4th in the first 3 races of the year. Mike Hannafin did a great job. 4th place finish for him. And Mike Lafort III, speaking of Mr. Consistency, has had a nice strong start to the year as well. He finishes in the 5th spot. That is 2 5th place finishes for him inside the top 5. He had a 5th on the 25th of June, and then opening night he finished in 4th. 1 blunder in the middle, but he's been consistent pretty much to start the year. So Krantz wins the Bandit feature over Vanesh, Shawaski, Hannafin, and Lafort. There's your top 5 there. Let's move on to the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaw race. And what a good one that one was again on Friday night. The Bandolero Outlaws have, to me, become one of the better Bandolero and or youth racing divisions that we've seen at the Speedway in many, many years. A lot of you remember back to the Mini Cup days. We had the Mini Cups on a full-time basis. They put on some good racing. But this specific group in the Bandolero Outlaws has been very, very impressive for me over the opening weeks of the season. 3 races down, and if you look at the win list between the 3 different drivers that have been to Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane, opening night it was Steve Bodum, week 2 Joey LeMay, and week 3 Richie Helger Jr. gets the job done in the Bandolero Outlaws. What a different group of winners. Young kids. Bowden's been around a little bit, learning his ropes in the Bandoleros the last couple of years. LeMay is a veteran of the youth racing. Richie Helger's kind of come onto the scene here and been impressive. Almost wins the championship in the Bandits last year after a dominant year. Comes up short there, comes over to the Outlaws and picks up a win in his third start in the Bando Outlaws. Helger has been off to a strong start. Week 1, 4th place. Week 2, he finished in 5th place behind, I messed that up. Week 1, he was 3rd. Week 2, he was 5th. And then on June 25th, he carries the checkered flag in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment number 99. So congratulations to him. Consistent start to the year. Had a couple of mechanical issues one week that kind of derailed him a bit. Other than that, though, he's been impressive behind the wheel of that Helger South Coast Power Equipment number 99. You take a look at the updated standings in the Bandolero Outlaws. Richie Helger is tied with Jace Mungin for the points lead in this division. And Mungin had a very strong run again the last time we raced on Friday night, June 25th. 2nd place for Jace Mungin. Nice job there. Great work by him. 3rd place was Bradley Strickland, who's a newcomer to Seekonk Speedway this year in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits. He's been very impressive behind the wheel so far. I've been very impressed with the speed he's had and the consistency they've been able to bring to the track with basically a new track for him. He's never really raced the place at all going into this year, and he's come out and had nice solid runs to open the season, gaining experience, and gets his first career podium finish at Seekonk Speedway on June 25th with a nice solid 3rd place run. If you remember back, Stephen Bowden did cross the line in 3rd, however, penalized 2 positions for some contact on the track. That's something the race directors have been doing a little bit more lately. For some contact on the track, you're given a 2-position penalty if the person you made contact to lost spot. So that's what happened there. So he ends up back in the 5th spot when that feature comes to a close. So your top 5, Richie Helger Jr., Jace Mungin, Bradley Strickland, Aubrey Keller, and Stephen Bowden. Your top 5 there in the Bandolero Outlaws. Sport 4 feature, a quick one, but a good one. Once again, 3 weeks in a row, and 2 different winners in the first 3 weeks. This time it was Crystal Murray going back-to-back in the Sport 4 division behind the wheel of the Quick Oil Murray Motorsports number 38. Now, Crystal started at the bottom of the top 10 after winning the week before, charged to the front, and was not going to be denied behind the wheel of the number 38. So congratulations to Crystal. Can't tell you the last time a driver went 3 times in a row in the Sport 4. I don't know that that's been done ever. Never mind in the last couple of years. So congratulations to Crystal, though. Great job there. Michael Fort was 2nd. Strong start to the season for the former champion of the Sport 4 division. He's got 3 podium runs, including a win on opening night in the first 3 weeks. So he has been strong as well behind the wheel of the lucky number 13. He is going to be one to watch along with Crystal. If you take a look at the points, those 2 are tied. Michael Fort 144, Crystal Murray 144 by tiebreaker. Right now, Crystal Murray would have the lead because she's got 2 wins in the first 3 weeks, but still way too early, I think, to think about the point standings. Now, on to the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stock Division. A great race for them that Friday night. Also want to mention in the Sport 4 before we move on, Dave Simpson Jr. finished 4th after leading a lot of laps. Very impressive there. Tim Bolger finished 3rd. Impressive for him. And Matthew Peon was 5th. A nice consistent start to the year for him. Sport 4 racing's been fantastic early in the year. So has the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stock Division. Round 1 of the Phil's Propane Triple Crown Series was the week before. Danny Massa won. Opening night it was Danny Massa. So he was 2 for 2 coming into this past Friday night's main event. And this time he does not go to Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane. A different driver carries the checkered flag for the first time in 2021. And that driver is Joey Morrissette. Not only the first time in 2021 for him, but the first time in his career in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks that he is able to pick up the checkered flag. Congratulations to Joey Morrissette, one of the drivers that you know has been fast for many years. He's been right there at the front, not able to seal the deal though, up until this past Friday night. What a run for the TTM Motorsports team. Congratulations again go out to him on his first career victory. Second place, Tim Ouellette Great run for him as well. Timmy had some help from the Murray family over the winter to get that car squared away. And he put on a show on the outside lane on June 25th, coming home with a nice, solid second place finish behind the wheel of the number 67. And then third was Danny Massa. After winning the first 2 weeks of the year, he comes home with a nice, solid third place finish behind the wheel of the number 41. Fourth place, Greg Perry. Now, these guys have been swapping the front positions back and forth for a while here to open the season. Greg Perry's been up there in the podium. So has Joey Morrissette. If you take a look at the pure stocks, Massa, Morrissette, and Perry have top 5 finishes in the first 3 races of the season. That is impressive. That is hard to do in this division. And this division, to me, continues to be the one on Fast Friday. There's certain things in life you look at and say, you know, for example, when you're getting married, she is the one. The pure stocks are the one on Fast Friday so far in 2021. Great racing there. Congratulations to Joey Morrissette on his first career win. Then our final feature from that Friday night, June 25th, of course, we're recapping, was the Nick's Pit Stop Legend Cars. And a first-time winner carries the checkered flag in their 25-lap feature. We love first-time winners. We talk about it all the time. And for the second straight race that night, we had another driver go to victory lane for the first time. It was Mason Tessier in the Nick's Pit Stop Legend Cars, driving the Scott Harkin Racing prepared entry, going to victory lane for the first time. He's been close a couple times before, this time able to seal the deal in the number 42. Couple stories from this race, and I think coming towards the end of the year, when we talk about points, this might be the race we look back at and say, okay, that was the turning point in the season. Wilco Brunn had won the first 2 weeks. He wrecked in this race. A terrible crash early. Not really a dangerous crash or anything, but terrible in the way that it broke the suspension on his car. He was not able to finish the race under his own power. He did come back out and make just a few laps, but he was 18th at the end. That's a big points loss there for him. See how he rebounds on the next race. The other big story, Josh Parsons, another guy we've seen come close to the championship over the last couple of years. We thought was going to be a favorite this year. He has a tough night after running right up in the front. Parsons had a tough night on June 18th. Didn't get many points at all. On June 25th, he's in the top 5 late. Some contact. Bogue goes around, Reese Bogue, and Parsons goes to the tail of the field and is only able to finish in 10th. That is a big difference in the point standings when you look at this and see what these guys have been able to do. Something to monitor as we go forward throughout the season to see if these guys are going to be able to rebound. LeBrun coming off 2 wins in the first 2 weeks of the year. We'll see what happens over the last few. Reagan Parent had a good run. 4th place in the number 17 for him in his first race of the year. And Gio Ruggiero was the top 5 in the Legend. So in the Legend cars, 2 wins for Luke LeBrun. Almost said Eric LeBrun, his father. Luke LeBrun, 2 wins. Mason Tessier, a win in week 3. Brendan Hammond has been second the first 3 weeks. So he is knocking on the door in the Nick's Pit Stop Legend cars of his first win of the season. That would not be his first career. Brendan did pick up a win back in 2019. I don't think he won last year during the COVID-shortened season, but I know that Brandon Hammond has had the checkered flag in his hand at least once at the 3rd mile. All right, that takes care of the action from Friday night, June 25th. I mentioned we have a lot to get to here in the podcast, and we do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to welcome in a couple of different guests from Fast Friday. If you notice, I haven't told you who they are yet. A little bit of a surprise this week. We're going to come around the turn, talk to the first one. We'll talk to the second one, and then we'll be on to NASCAR Saturday action from June 26th. Stick with us. All right, welcome back from the break. Welcoming in our first Fast Friday guest. I did not let you know who the guests were going to be prior to, so here it is. First guest of the podcast series for this week is going to be Richie Helger Jr. He drives the South Coast Power Equipment number 99 of the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits, and he is a big winner on the June 25th edition of Fast Friday. Richie, thanks for joining us on the podcast. Talk me through that last race. I know it's been a little bit since it happened, but that was a tough race. You had some tough competitors behind you, and I know it feels good to finally get that car in victory lane this year.
Yeah, it feels good after, having to wait through COVID and just getting back on that track and winning that race. Just felt so good to finally, get back behind the wheel and just let it all hang out and have fun.
Now, you did let it all hang out. Close battle there. Jace Mungin was up there. He's been really tough this year. I mentioned to everybody before the break you had a little bit of a mechanical issue the week before, which kind of sidelined you. And you've been racing down at the Waterford Speed Bowl a little bit this year as well. So you've been busy behind the wheel. It must be exciting to be able to run all these different races at a couple of different tracks and be up front basically the whole time. I know you had a little bit of trouble the last time you raced down in Connecticut with a wreck, but overall, you guys have been really fast this year.
Yeah, these cars have been fast, and I'm just thankful that they're fast because I want to compete and show everybody that I race against and I have fun with, to show that we're there and we're not just there to, practice and whatnot. I try to show them, how racing is, and let's see how we can do it together.
Well, you've been doing pretty well over the first couple weeks of the year. You're one of the most competitive drivers in this division and tied for the points lead here after the first 3 weeks of the season. Now, what about the points? I know last year you had a strong points run going till the end of the year. Have you thought about the points at all? Is that your goal this year, to win the championship?
Yeah, that's my goal, but my main goal is just to have fun, win some races, and that's on my mind, the points and stuff, but it's not on the top of it, to make sure every week is, try to be the best every week. But, other than that, it's just trying to have fun and win some races, and hopefully we get that top point.
Well, he's been fun to watch. He's been fast in the first couple weeks of the year. Richie Helger Jr., the big winner in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaws on the June 25th edition. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go here in the podcast?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, Scott Harkin, Kyle Marchand, Kyle Casper, SHR, Cat Country, Simpsons Auto Care, B&M Maintenance, Phil's Propane, Helger South Coast Power Equipment, and all the guys that helped me get out there.
Well, it's been an impressive start. Richie, we want to thank you for some time, and a lot of sponsors and supporters behind this guy in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaws. Good luck the rest of the year, and I'm sure we'll talk to you as the season goes along.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Richie Helger Jr. We'll be right back with our next Fast Friday guest. All right, welcome back from the break. Thanks to Richie Helger Jr. for joining us just a moment ago. Winner of the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaw feature. I have another feature winner on the podcast hotline here with me from the last Fast Friday event. He picked up his first career win in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks, and his name is Joey Morrissette. Now, Joey, talking before the break, I mentioned to the people listening that this was really a long time coming, and I think that phrase is overused a little bit in racing. Everything seems to be a long time coming. But for you, I really feel like this win was a long time coming for you to finally get to victory lane, and it's still feeling good, I'm sure, a little bit after.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's definitely a long time coming. I feel like our rookie year in 2019 was real strong, came out of the box pretty good, had a couple of close calls, wasn't our year, no big deal. And then last year was just a mess. 2 DNFs, obviously everybody knows I hit the wall twice, couple of mechanical failures, still kept trucking along though. Real close at the end of the year last year for championship night with Doug Benoit there. I thought last year was going to be it, but we stay patient. We work on a car over the winter, and hey, patience pays off.
Well, so patience did pay off for you, getting to victory lane for the first time. You've been up there with Danny Massa and Greg Perry the first couple weeks. It's really been the three of you. I know Tim Ouellette popped up there on the last Friday night and was strong. What's it been like to race those two guys and the division as a whole? Because I feel like over Friday and Saturday, the Pure Stocks is one of the divisions that has the most cars, but also the cleanest racing on the track, and I think that's a testament to you guys behind the wheel.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably got the cleanest racing. Racing Danny, Greg, those guys, they're real strong, they're real fast, and sometimes you can race with them. You can't even slide a piece of paper between us, but we don't wreck each other. It's fun, it's fast. A couple other guys in the division are coming up strong. I noticed Tim Ouellette and the 48 car, he's coming on strong too. It's cool to have fast guys up there. Jeremy Lambert's fast. The whole division as a whole, they're all great people. They all help each other in the pits. Sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes it disputes. But at the end of the day, it's a race family. and we just try to put on the best show we can.
Yeah, I think the Pure Stocks is definitely a race family. I think we've seen that at the track over the last 5-6 years. Specifically, now one win in the books, they say the next one comes easier, and then they may open the floodgates and more will come. Is that how you're hoping this is going to go here, and you can get a couple knocked off in a row?
You know what? It would be nice, but at the end of the day, I set a goal for the one win. The win was for my entire team, for myself mostly, but my entire team has worked so hard for it. If we get another win, we get another win. If we stay top 5 all year, we stay top 5 all year. We're there for fun. You know, it's not a big division, not NASCAR, so we'll play it week by week.
Well, he's going to play it week by week. And Joey, I know there's a lot of people, part of the group that you are specifically, that are on board to help you out, get you to the track weekly. You mentioned your team. Give some of them a shout out here as part of the Race Day Rewind podcast and let them know how appreciative you are of their help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you know, TTM Motorsports. Gil has been great. It's his car. I drive for him. We got Boss Lady Graphics. The car used to look beautiful. We got 3223 Racing, Dave Simpson. And then there's Eric Schwagel, Manchester Automotive, my buddy John. He came on board last year. Richard Shockey's powder coating. I can't thank that dude enough. He's always there. There's just so many other people. My dad phone called, my mom for being there, my girl for being there, just all the fans, everybody.
Well, Joey, it's been a pleasure to chat with you here in the Race Day Rewind podcast. Congratulations again, first-time winner. And Joey was one of 2 first-time winners in a row on that night for Fast Friday. Mason Tessier followed him up in the Legends. Cool to see. Congratulations again, and we'll see you here whenever we get back to racing after Mother Nature gives us a chance to get back to the track.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, that's been Joey Morrissette. Stick with us. We're going to transfer over to NASCAR Saturday recap from June 26th. All right, we're firing on all cylinders after the break. Couple guests from Fast Friday. Thanks to them for joining us to recap again what happened on June 25th. Now we're going to recap what happened on Saturday night, June 26th. Now, this was the first Saturday night as part of the No More Extra Distance Racing for the time being. If you missed that, we're not doing extra distance racing right now because of the tire shortage, the ongoing Hoosier and American Racer tire shortage in this country. Not only tires on shortage, just about everything's on shortage, but for us, the tire is a major deal. So we've cut out the extra distance racing for now. That does not mean we won't be doing extra distance racing later in the season if we get more tires in stock. But I can tell you that for right now, we've cut that out for obvious reasons. But that did not mean that the Saturday night racing was not going to be exciting on Saturday, June 26th. We had a Phil's Propane Triple Crown race for the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman that concluded. That race had started the week before, but Mother Nature ended it early, and then in the end, we finished it on Saturday, June 26th. And no surprise here, Chad Baxter goes to Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane behind the wheel of the Richard Sprague prepared number 0. This car has been on a rail to open the season. He has got multiple victories. If you take a look after that first feature on Saturday, June 25th for Chad Baxter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races in the Sportsman. He won 5 of them. 5 out of 7 in the most competitive division, they say, at Seekonk Speedway. Very impressive what Baxter did. And he picks up the night with a wrap-up win in the Phil's Propane Triple Crown race for the Sportsman. That race had about 15 to 18 laps to go. We finished that. Then we moved on after a little bit of chaos in the first race. Steve Axon and Adam Petty, I almost said Perry. Ed Perry finished second, first of all. Corey Fanning was third. Steve Axon fourth. Craig Pianca fifth. Adam Petty, went at it with Steve Axon early. They made contact. Couple cars got together. Axon spun around. Both went to the rear. Petty went to the rear for the assist. They kind of gave each other the hello out the window during the caution, revved their motors at each other. Then, I'm going to skip till later in the night when we ran the second feature race for the Sportsman on the night. Yep, double features essentially that night for the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman. And guess who gets into it again? Adam Petty and Steve Axon. Ed Perry won the second race, the normal 25-lap feature for the Sportsman. Congratulations to him. But for me, one of the major stories here was Steve Axon and Adam Petty going at it. They spin together again in the second race. Both go to the rear. They drive to the front. and they finished second and third. Now imagine what could have happened if they didn't wreck each other in the second race. One of them probably would have won the race, but Ed Perry becomes the beneficiary and wins the feature event. Steve Axon second, Adam Petty was third, Corey Fanning fourth, and Colby Lambert was fifth in the second Sportsman race. Look at the updated points in the Sportsman. It's closed up some. Ed Perry has been a master of consistency. He's been quiet but consistent early in this season. A lot of finishes inside the top 5 and 6. And he's only 12 points back of Chad Baxter through the first 8 races of the year in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman division. Something to monitor going forward in the Sportsman. Corey Fanning is third. He had a little bit of a rough start to the year. They've picked up their game in the number 11, the Everett's Auto Parts camp. 4 top 5 finishes in a row. He's third in the points. Craig Pianca is fourth, 316. Again, another consistent driver. And fifth, Joe Kohler, who had that disqualification. And without the disqualification, Joe Kohler will be right there in the championship battle. But right now he's fifth in the championship. So the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman, closer than you may think, even though Chad Baxter has won all these races. It doesn't mean that he's driven away in the points. By far, he has not. And he is one we're going to be watching over the last couple weeks of the season to see if he can end up back in Everett's Auto Parts victory lane as the season goes along. And can Ed Perry become the champion of the Sportsman division? Going into the year, I don't think we talked about him much on the podcast. He stormed on here as Mr. Consistent, and Ed Perry is second in the points after the month of June. Now, we've got still a long way to go. I keep saying it's early to look at points, and it is. But I like to look at the points this early in the season. See who's doing well. It shows you who's been consistent. And in that division specifically, Chad Baxter and Ed Perry have been the two. So, on to the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman for this coming Saturday night. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's talk about now the Chaz Auto Body Sport Truck feature from Saturday night, June 25th. Mike Cavallero goes back to Everett's Auto Parts victory lane for the first time in many years. Now, he is rising up the wins list at Seekonk, is also rising up the fan list after finally somebody is able to knock off Barry Shaw. Rick Martin had already done it twice. Barry Shaw had an off night after winning multiple of the first couple races of the season. And in the end, this time it is a new winner in the Sport Trucks in 2021. Chaz Auto Body Sport Trucks go to Mike Cavallero, a former champion, no stranger at all to Everett's Auto Parts victory lane behind the wheel of the number 80. Congratulations to him. Very impressive behind the wheel. Second place was Amy Arsenal. Nice run by her. And she is closing right in on her first career win. Third place was Brittany Campbell. Another podium finish for her. She has been very impressive as well here in the opening stand of the season. I've been very impressed with what she's been able to do behind the wheel. Something we're going to monitor to see her get to victory lane, because you know that's coming here over the next couple of weeks. Fourth place in this one was Mike Duart, and Barry Shaw finished fifth. That was his worst finish of the year. Yes, his worst finish of the year, fifth place. Barry Shaw still leads the points, though, by a comfortable margin over Rick Martin, who is second. Amy Arsenal is third, and Cavallero, off the win, is fourth in the championship battle. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will discuss the Everett's Auto Parts late models, see who won there, and the Pro Stock Thriller. Let's get everybody talking, and then we're going to figure out what's coming up here in the future, because there's a lot that's changed and a lot of things to keep in mind going forward. Stick with us. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment of the Race Day Rewind podcast. Again, we are recapping racing action from June 25th and 26th at Seekonk Speedway. A great night of NASCAR Saturday action. Already talked about here with the Sport Trucks and the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman. Of course, the Sport Trucks this year presented by Chaz's Auto Body. Thanks to them for jumping on board. Now, two more features on the docket. Everett's Auto Parts late models, clean and green. Couple storylines coming out of that one in the green to checker race. Chase Belcher, first storyline, is the winner. His first career win in the Everett's Auto Parts late models for the former Sport Truck champion. Congratulations in a clean and green race. Belcher got out front early and never looked back en route to the win, so congratulations to him. Second place, Jerry DeCaspari Jr. Good run again. Nice consistent second place run. Nick Uring was third. Good run for him. Josh Hedges fourth. Nice strong consistent start for the year there as well. And then Rowdy Burns, Jacob Burns, was fifth. Chase Belcher is one story, of course, as the winner of the race. The second story, and to me the bigger story in this one, is Vinny Renegado. He came into this race with a healthy points lead, just over 20 points. Unfortunately for him, it didn't last. Some trouble before the race even starts. A rear end issue. He's trying to scramble to get another car. Can't get in another car. Has to go out and start and park. And that cost him a lot of points. And that cost him the points lead in the Everett's Auto Parts late models. If you take a look at the point standings after his finish outside the top 10, he leads no more. He's down by 2 over Jerry DeCaspari Jr., who's able to ride in the second spot here through the first couple of weeks, nice and consistently. And now that Renegado's got trouble, Jerry pounces, takes advantage, and takes the points lead in the number 71. So Jerry by 2. Josh Hedges is not far back either. He is only 14 back in the Everett's Auto Parts late models. 350 for DeCaspari, 348 for Renegado, 336 for Hedges. So something to watch there. That's going to be one of the tightest battles going down the stretch. Final race from that Saturday night, again June 26th, the Pro Stocks. And man, what a race. This has got people talking all over Facebook. And I know some people out there are sick of Dave Darling winning. Some of you out there are happy that Dave Darling's winning. Some of you out there could care less who wins as long as it's a good race. That's me. I don't care who wins as long as we put on a good show. And man, this one was a show. Nobody is going to tell me that you weren't excited and on the edge of your seat to watch 40 laps in this one. This Pro Stock race had been rained out the week before when Mother Nature kind of stomped in the middle of the show. We ran it early in the night. The sun was still out, kind of like a twilight type thing. Kenny Spencer gets out front early, the former Pro Stock champion, leads some laps, and it looks like Kenny Spencer is going to be the one to go to Everett's Auto Parts victory lane. If you would have asked me at halfway in this race who's going to win, I probably would have said Kenny Spencer. It looked like he had the car to beat. Tom Slowey Jr. was close to him, gave him a shot a couple times, couldn't quite get him. I was convinced it was going to be Kenny Spencer. Then Dylan Estrella makes a run, can't get him. Then this guy named Dave Darling makes a run. On the outside lane, they're side by side for the lead. Fast forward to the white flag, and the race was on. My goodness, what a final couple laps here. Darwin got in behind Spencer, coming down the back straightaway, coming back to the white flag. As they come off turn 4 to take Tim Bolduc's white flag, contact. Darling into the back of Spencer. Spencer goes around. Darling goes around. Scully goes around. Darling's got Scully airborne on top of his car. Darling's car's all damaged. Scully's car's damaged. Spencer's going to the rear. They're all going to the back. And Rick Martin comes to the show. Win number 97 for Radical Rick Martin after a mess at the front of the Pro Stock field. Best way to describe it. Dave Darling into Kenny Spencer. Some people out there are arguing that Dave Darling dumped him. Others say Kenny Spencer used a little bit too much brake, tried to lift off the gas a little bit. Darling had nowhere to go. You pick your side to it. Whatever you think, you think. But what a race. And I can tell you that was probably one of the most exciting and crazy Pro Stock races we've seen in many years. And Rick Martin wins it. Career win number 97 for the Radical one behind the wheel of a Pro Stock. Great job by him to get through that carnage and pick up the win. Ryan Kuhn was second. Another solid run for him. And Dylan Estrella was third. A little bit of a slow start for Dylan Estrella. I'm a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed because I'm not disappointed, but I'm a little bit surprised that Estrella hasn't been to victory lane yet through the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season. He's probably going to get there. We just got to give it a little bit more time. But Dave Darling not winning. That is a shocker. A little bit different of a race. So Ryan Kuhn is second in the points, still chasing Darling by a good margin. But all be the less, Rick Martin wins. Ryan Lynham was fourth behind Kuhn and Estrella, and then Colby Fournier had a nice solid top 5 finish. So Pro Stock and late model races in the books. Your Saturday night winners on June 26th, Chad Baxter, Ed Perry, Mike Cavallero, Chase Belcher, and Rick Martin. On Friday, June 25th, we had Joey Morrissette in the Pure Stocks, Mason Tessier of the Legends, Richie Helger in the Bandolero Outlaws, Crystal Murray in the Sport 4, and Darren Krantz in the Bandolero Bandits. Now, let's discuss what's coming up. Couple things to keep in mind over the next couple of weeks. I don't know when you're listening to this podcast, so you might be a little bit off on the dates. It might be a little bit later or a little bit earlier, but here we go. Friday, July 9th is expected to be Fast Friday racing. I don't think Fast Friday racing is probably not going to happen because of Elsa, the hurricane that's coming, but it's still scheduled. Saturday, July 10th is the Thrill Show, the Independence Day Thrill Show that was rained out from last weekend, July the 3rd. That's going to be run on July 10th. Tickets are still available, $25 for adults. There's some other ticket prices in there for children. Go to the Thrill Show. If you've never seen a Thrill Show, you've never seen great fireworks, be there. Best fireworks display in Southern New England by far. Also sponsored this year by Mega Disposal. So go check that out on July 10th. When we come back to regular racing, it will be Friday night, July 16th. This is, again, I don't know when you're listening to this. We're supposed to race on July 9th, so you may hear from me again. I doubt it because of the weather situation. But our next race for Fast Friday and NASCAR Saturday that are both going to run on the same weekend is going to be July 16th and July 17th. So keep that in mind as the season goes along here for the Fast Friday and NASCAR Saturday racing schedule. We'll get some exciting racing coming up. That night, July 17th, Saturday night will be a Phil's Propane Triple Crown race for the Pro Stocks and a Power 5 race for the Sportsman. We've got Bandolero Triple Crown races on the docket for July 9th. Stay tuned to our social media and our website, though, because with the weather and how things are going, things may change. Open Wheel Wednesday, if you went to that, August the 25th is going to be the makeup date for that show. That show, of course, Mother Nature and the power, electricity went out, long story. That race has been rescheduled from June 30th to August 25th. Keep those wristbands and tickets if you went to that show, because you can be able to use them again coming up on August 25th when Tri-Track comes back to town for the $10,000 to win modified Bandas. 45 cars were in the pit area. Great show of cars. Great race it was going to be. I think it's going to be a fantastic race on August 25th, but that's still a while away. We've got the Bay State Classic with the past Superweight models, $10,000 to win coming up on July 28th. NASCAR Saturday, Fast Friday, thrill shows. We've got everything coming up here over the next couple weeks. Monster trucks in August. So much to keep in track with. I know it's hard to follow. Follow our website. Follow our social media channels. Follow the podcast series. You'll get everything you need to know right here in the podcast series. I will not leave any of you hanging. For now, I hope everybody enjoyed their Independence Day holiday. I hope everybody's enjoyed a little bit of a break from racing. I know that I've enjoyed a week or two away, but you're now chomping at the bit, probably just like me, to get back to the track and see some more exciting Friday and Saturday night action. For now, thanks for joining us in the podcast series. We really appreciate you supporting it. Thanks to our guests for joining us on this edition. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And a big thanks goes to Ed St. Germain behind the scenes, pushing all the buttons to make the podcast what it is and make it come alive, whether you're listening on Google, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, I don't know where else. There's so many different outlets you can listen to us. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you all soon.